This is White Lies, and this is the story of how we wrote the song Death.
I love the feeling when we lift off, watching the world so small below.
The way that Death was written, I seem to remember, stop me if I'm wrong, Harry, because it was a long time ago now. This is probably one of the first White Lies songs ever, maybe the third, in fact.
Probably the song that we wrote when we were 15. As with all of our songs that have resonated with people and that have stuck with us and that seem to do really well, I think it was written really quite quickly. It was perhaps a couple of days of work in the rehearsal studio, and it was pretty much done in its fullest form. Even though it was just the three of us playing together, we sort of had an idea in our minds of how we were going to map out everything in the studio and how everything was going to happen.
The sort of Kazi verse bit we were really keen on, with the chugging guitars and the kind of stabs.
Yeah.
That was like always the.
So we were listening a lot to the Cars at that time.
Yeah.
Just what I needed. The band that we were really into, and it's a guitar, a feature of the guitar parts that we've kept throughout all of the songs that we write with White Lies and all of the recordings that we make, is that chugging stab, and that was born out of Death. That was, and it's always been a feature of our band, I think.
I love the quiet of the night time, when the sun is drowned in a deathly sea.
The lyrics, I believe Charles wrote on it may have even been a transatlantic flight. He was going on holiday with his family, and he was just sitting on the plane waiting for it to take off, and was suddenly struck by a moment of inspiration. And the lyrics are just a great contemplation of what would happen if the plane went down in a ball of flames and your life was over at that moment. You know, I think that was probably some of my favourite of Charles's lyrics. I think certainly of the first stage of our career. I think he sort of almost accidentally stumbled upon something that resonated with a lot of people really well. Yeah.
Anyway, I picture my own grave, 'cause fear's got a hold on me. Yes, this fear's got a hold on me.
Playing Death live is always a sort of highlight of our live shows, and you can always tell it's a highlight because we save it right to the end so no one goes home early. It's just like it's got a lot of energy, and it's super fun to play. I can only speak for myself, but to play, it's such a simple song to play, and you can kind of throw yourself into it in a way that perhaps you can't on slightly trickier songs that we've got. And people just know, you know, like from the first, there's like a little reverse piano swell which we've always tried to do which starts a song. We've always tried to do that when we play live, and it's like as soon as people hear that chord kind of swelling up, they know what's going to happen. And I'm pretty certain that I can say that we'll probably never play a White Lies headline show where we don't play that song. It's sort of started a lot for us, and we owe a lot to that song, and I think people will always enjoy it.
Yes, this fear's